It's Friday, October 15th, and the highlight of this video is that I'm aware that I fall back into the stage of bargaining in the Kubler-Ross grief cycle, whereby which if you've been through a traumatic situation or the loss of somebody or a relationship, you go through the stages of grief. Although they aren't always in the same order, there is a part of the journey of healing where you bargain. And by that, I mean tell anybody and everybody you know about the problems, like TMI, about your working it out in your dome. And that's clearly not healthy or safe or normal to do. We've all been, guilty of that, and myself included, and I've seen others. But when I first was learning of abrupt climate change, I would tell when I was talking with my blood family, I told my entire blood family, and none of them responded, and I would tell strangers, and they don't know how to respond. And that's about right. That's about right. I see logically, what you're telling them in some number of words is there's a nuclear bomb that's primed and ready to detonate. And in the acceptance phase that I'm at now, not to say that I still don't respect certain people, especially younger people who I feel have the qualities that could be in a survival type situation. That's important. But not that we're going to live that very long. But the other part of me is, again, with a lot of my subscribers, an acceptance phase, and hell, just send up the nukes now and just get it over with. I mean, if once you take the toothpaste out, you can't put it back in. And it's damn near crippled my motivation to do everything. I meet people, college students around here a lot that want to go to school for computer science or architecture or this or any number of, esteemed perhaps professions. And I just think it's all so futile. It's just a waste of time. It really is, considering where we're going. And so the acceptance phase has its merit. I really have a much clearer insight on what I want to do with my life. I want to live much more in harmony with nature. I want to pay off my bills here and find an even smaller town and spend most of my remaining days in meditation with friends and a real life community. This pandemic has really screwed things up, but a sangha, that's the word I'm looking for in Buddhism. It's a sangha. It's like a group of people, that practice the same guides and practices. They try to keep a clear mind, clear head throughout all this nonsense. Paul Beckwith, again, I throw his name a lot, just put out a video literally today. Earth albedo reflectivity has dimmed in the last 2 decades. And the summary, although I recommend you watch the whole thing, all of it, he says that the Earth has declined from between 1998 and 2017. The Earth albedo, the reflectivity, the sunlight being reflected by 0.5%. Thus, overall, the reflectance of Earth was 30%, is now only 29.5%. So it's darker because there's less clouds. So that means that more sunlight is being absorbed by the Earth's surface. So that means that the radiative force has gone up by 0.5 watts per meter squared. And even in the IPCC, which he just kind of runs through again, some key notes or some beginning facts about it, some charts, because it wouldn't be a Beckwith video without some charts and graphs. The change of increase in temperatures globally between 1750 and 2019 was 1.27 degrees Celsius. He's saying that adding 0.5 watts per meter squared, between 1750 and 2019, it was 2.72 watts per meter squared being absorbed from sunlight onto the surface of the Earth, which means an increase of 1.27 degrees Celsius. So adding 0.5 watts per meter squared brings the temperature up to 1.52. Not to mention all the other feedback loops, and even in the IPCC, and Guy Mcpherson just posted a video saying the collapse of everything, which is pretty witty and fun, that the aerosols are keeping, Paul says in this video too, are keeping us cooler by 0.5 degree. So if we stopped all global industrial civilization, we decided to turn over to completely green energy, renewable energy, net zero, you would still add 0.5 degree to the 1.27. So already we're over. And that's not even to mention the process of building all that stuff, of converting everything over. I mean, it's a done deal. The forks and the stick a fork in it. It's done. It's a done deal. The bomb is primed. You're going to see hundreds of millions of suffering people, billions. Our financial markets turn to complete turmoil. We had good times. And the 90s were kind of fun. I was a child, different era. The 2000s were cringy, and the 2010s were just plain weird and exciting. Technology, Trump, social media. It's like our whole world flipped upside down. And yeah, the 2020s are getting real. We know it's coming. And so I can't blame people when I mean, Guy said this way earlier on, you can't force this information on people, but how could you not want to if you're a sane and responsible person? If you knew something was coming, if you knew a pandemic was coming, for instance, 10 years ago, wouldn't you go out and tell people, hey, there's a pandemic coming in 10 years? But then again, it's like, what can they do? It's futile. Like, what does that even, there's no fight. You can't stop that. I mean, it's kind of funny that Joseph Campbell was doing a great job, Dr. Campbell, like reporting the pandemic in the beginning. And I'm pretty sure he just got fed up. It was just like he saw the numbers escalating and us not, that could be totally wrong. He could have another excuse. But, I'm sure he just kind of got fed up. It was like, well, this is doomed. And there's still 66 million people unvaccinated in America. How many people don't even believe in global warming? When you ask them on the street. And, I talk about all the time, these kids around here everywhere that are just asleep. So I guess I just want to see as many of you as possible. I don't know how I can get to Europe anytime soon. What gives me a reason and a will to live now, because clearly participating in anything related to industrial civilization, as in anything with the corporate monopoly, money, contributing to BlackRock, basically, we think we have choices. I don't want any of that. But then us choosing not to do any of that would still raise the temperature and still send us into a hellish situation. So it's lose-lose either way. But what gives me a reason to live, a lot of people I tell this to, initially they're like, whoa, so you have like a nihilistic channel, like want to kill yourself channel? It's like, no, I embrace living with integrity, living with love, living for the moment. If you found out a nuclear bomb was about to detonate in 8 years, would you give up now? No. If you do, you must be a weak, shitty person. I don't want to be around you. You should just go jump off a bridge. No, I say what gives me a reason to live is my YouTube channel. I mean, specifically what's happening in the world, or something related to information and sharing, being a messenger. That propels me. Because otherwise, if I'm not sharing and building a community about living this trip, then I have nothing else to live for, because I'm not going to get a degree. I'm not going to get married. Getting married, getting a house, even for that matter, marriage, kids, is so fucking out of reach for me. It is so out of reach. All the American dream is dead. You know what that feels like, older people who watch this? When you're shunned from emotionally because of climate change, abrupt climate change, that nothing seems worth it, and you couldn't even obtain it even if you tried, or if you did, you wouldn't hold on to it very long. I mean, how not demoralizing, you just have to change your mindset. You have to change your mindset. And all these people that I see on the street, I'm talking to you personally now, but all these people I see talking on the street, I mean, in my day-to-day interactions that don't know about abrupt climate change, or at least they know about it, but they don't know the severity and what we're soon going to be already experiencing, and soon going to be experiencing much more crop failure. I can't even look at them. I don't even look up anymore. I just drive and I look down. I used to look around at me. Is anybody paying attention? Is anybody paying attention? Now I just like, you know what? Fuck them. We're the virus. We're just like chickens being slaughtered at the Tyson plant. But Mother Earth's doing it. So, 2 points to this video. Earth is dimmer, less clouds, so it's absorbing more sunlight, so it's getting warmer. If we stop all global industrial output, the aerosols are keeping us cool by about a half a degree or more. So it's futile either way, and I'm in acceptance, and I'm glad to have a channel. I'm glad to be healthy and safe and living in a first world and, enjoying what I do have. But there's some things that we can all improve on. Some things I'd like a little bit less of, like a little bit less debt, a little bit more nature, even though I got it pretty well here. But overall, it's worth it. Even with all the normies who have no idea what's going on, it's worth it. Okay, enough cheesy shit. It's Friday. Talk to you guys on Monday. What's happening in the world? Peace.